everybody. How you doing? How you feeling? How your mama doing? How you guys doing today? How you feeling today? You guys excuse me, I'm sitting in my car. I got a little you can hear like a little cough coming up. You know how you know. So I got me a little camel juice going, elderberry. So I'm not gonna catch no cold. I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And it feels good. I love fall. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. It's Friday, or whatever time that you get this video is Friday. I'm sitting in the car before I go into my job. Some of you guys got to take that break. Sometimes you take that me time. And sometimes that me time is sitting in the car, looking through emails, preparing my mind for the day. So I don't feel guilty about it. So this is before I said, sometimes I'll hate fighting with my camera going in there to film, the video that I want to film. So I just take a little me time in the car. And I said, well, since I'm sitting in the car, let me just go ahead and do a video for the end of the week. And so I just wanted to come in and just give you a little bit of encouragement. I wanted to talk about, being very careful and not being pulled into this vortex or back into the vortex of this narcissist. You guys know that those of you that have lived with, been with, married to, had a relationship or situationship with this narcissist, they live in this alternate reality. They live in this world that they've created for themselves. And you can tell, like, if you look at the somatic narcissist, you have somatic narcissists that live these fantasies and they pull you into their world to make you believe that these fantasies are for real. You have some that, you do have wealthy narcissists. You do have wealthy narcissists that can live this life. But, you have these narcissists, some of them are not wealthy. Not all of them are wealthy. Not all of them are in that particular range of socioeconomic statuses. But they play this role where you really believe that they have what they say they have. It's almost like watching the lifestyle. Remember that show, The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? So they watch these videos and they begin to live out the videos like it's their real life every day. Fake jewelry, not all of them. Some of them, the fake jewelry, the cars, they have to be surrounded by people. I told you before in another video, a narcissist is a parasite, and it's sad that we have to, the best way to describe a human being is by saying that they're parasites, and it sounds so harsh, it sounds so mean, but really their behaviors and the things that they do, they're parasites, and they'll connect with anybody. That's what they do when they, look for new supply. They grow bored easily. They go look for new supply and they attach themselves to that new supply. And what does a parasite do? A parasite will tear you up from the inside out, and then you're just a walking shell, like a zombie of the person that you used to be. And these people, attach themselves with people. Some of them attach themselves with people they think are going somewhere, or, if you're talking about like rap videos, people that they're trying to be rappers, are stars, are, is it called clout chasers? I think that's right. And they attach themselves and they take upon this lifestyle that this other person has. And a lot of times these narcissists are in debt. They're borrowing stuff. They're portraying. They take pictures by other people's houses, and they don't technically, they don't actually say that it's their house, but they'll make little comments like, this is good. The house is good. So your impression, is that, oh, it must be their house, but they don't argue any different, or they don't tell you any different. And then if you confront them and someone says that's so-and-so house, like, well, I never said that was my house. I just said, but then you argue with them, but you were alluding to, I don't know what you're talking about. But you see that conversation is just pointless. And you have to remember they live in this alternate reality, this unrealistic world where if you get pulled and sucked into their world, which they do, they pull you in, and then they take their time to systematically change your narratives. They change, what was truth. And by the time that you're done dealing with them, or you're caught up in this vortex with them, you don't know what is real or not real. And then for some people, you have been married to people like this, you have dated people like this, and in your shanana, or in your reality, or that cognitive dissonance, your reality, that this is not real. But you are so convinced because now you're also covering up your embarrassment and shame. You're proud to be associated with this person when this person is getting attention, this narcissist is getting attention, and then you have these women that are looking at you, or men that are looking at you like, that's his wife, that's her husband, that's you. And they're laughing at you because they know the real. Some people have known the narcissist for years before you've known this narcissist. And they know, since they've known this narcissist when they were young, they've always been a liar. They've always been a clout chaser. They've always been a person that lies and makes it seem like they renting cars, make it seem like it's theirs. And they've always been like this. So now they done got, older, and they're still doing it at a bigger scale. And they're laughing at you for believing that it's true. Like, dang, what kind of, and then and you're almost embarrassed, but you cover it up and you become hostile. And you're embarrassed because you know the reality, but you won't accept the reality. You are in denial. And it's not until later on when you leave the situationship, when you look back and say, I knew all along, but I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. And you knew that your family was hungry. You knew that they pay no attention to you. They present this thing they present this image to the world that they're this great husband or great wife, and this is what they do for you, and look at what I've provided them with, and we go on vacations. But you guys know that as soon as they take that picture, that's about the closest you're going to feel to that narcissist, when they take a picture and smile and want to take pictures. But you know in your heart that it's for show, that you won't say it, but you know it's for show. And then you're at home and you're married, yet you single. You married, yet you're lonely. You're dating, yet you feel just as lonely as you did before you started dating them. You're at home, and once you get off that camera, that's the closest you two are going to feel. Once you come off that camera, you feel no connection to this person. You feel like they're not even connected to you. And now the vortex, when I talk about this vortex, let me give you the definition of vortex. The definition of vortex is a world of water or air, the center of something that draws the outside in. There's another one. In fluid dynamics, a vortex is a region in a fluid in which the flow revolves around an axis line, which may be straight or curved. Vortexes form in stirred fluids and may be observed in smoke rings, whirlwinds. Let's look at another one. A vortex is a mass of wind or water that spins around so fast that it pulls objects down into its empty center. Let's read that again, students. And this is the Collins English Dictionary. A vortex is a mass of wind or water that spins around so fast that it pulls objects down into its empty center. A narcissist is an empty individual that cannot get full no matter what they do. That's why they have this insatiable appetite for fuel. And so they find these sources of supply that have been abused, and then they abuse them. They systematically abuse them to a point where they try to see just how much pressure they can take, how much pain they can tolerate. And those that are the main supplies and have been in these situationships with these people are the most abused individuals that are in closest proximity to this storm, and they are a walking contradiction. They are a walking chaos. They are a walking, how can you get love and compassion out of someone that doesn't have it in them? They're walking chaos. You can tell they're just chaotic. They're frustrating. They are frustrated. They're mean. They're hateful. And yet they portray to the world how wonderful they are. And it's a show, and it's a show. Because when they get home, they just let loose, and they're just like the Tasmanian devil, just a whirlwind. And you have to watch it, because you being in a situationship with them, you get pulled into this vortex of hot messness, if that's even a word. Let's look at another definition. This is the one that I wanted to bring to you guys. And this is the one that kind of describes them. Let me scroll through here and find it again. Cambridge English Dictionary. A dangerous or bad situation in which you become more and more involved hold on, let me go back and read it again. I'm sorry. A dangerous or bad situation in which you become more and more involved and from which you cannot escape. Once they, they hoover you, and they hoover new supplies. Well, they love bomb, but they got to hoover you first to get you. That's that hoover. And they're sucking you into this vortex. And the more you get sucked into this vortex, the more your emotions are involved, the more your finances are involved, the more your body is involved, your mind is involved, where your whole life is entangled. It's a giant entanglement, like an octopus. You're just entangled. You take off these suckers off of your face and you got it around your neck. You try to pull it off of your neck. It's on your ear. You try to pull it off of your ear. It's wrapped around your waist. And this is how the situationship is in. And when you really think about it, some of you guys have gotten so deeply involved that now when you sit back and you think about it, you know you done got involved in something that you shouldn't have gotten involved in. And you so far in it that your credit is involved in it, your money is involved in it, your mind, your children are involved in it, your reputation is involved. And then the sad part about it is that there are some people that are so ashamed. Your ego is because, hey, I don't know what you were doing before then, but, your ego is wrapped around it and you are, all these people, they've involved you. They made sure that they put you out there in front of all these people that if you decide to leave, you're going to look like a bad person. You're going to look like a failure. You may have had failed relationships before, but if you try to leave, they set it up to a point, because other people have left them, but they set it up to a point where if you try to leave, or they'll make you look, they've smeared your name to a point where if you try to leave, your ego and your heart is on the line because you're afraid of what people are going to think. You done got into this relationship so quick, or this situation so quick, you made a mistake. And some people were the secondary supply. Some of you guys were the side chick, the side dude. And you were so mesmerized and infatuated and tantalized and whatever, you were having the affair. You were the side chick, the side dude, and were having an affair, and you got pulled in so quick that you helped this narcissist, get away from this terrible, horrible, old supply, and you in it now. And now you're starting to see some stuff. You got sucked in this vortex. And at first it was this illusion you were living, and you're in the midst of this vortex. And now you're having your aha moment, your epiphany, your revelation. Now, you're struggling with this cognitive dissonance where you're like, oh my gosh. And you're ashamed and afraid to say anything because it happened so quick that you're really embarrassed. You're really embarrassed. Like, this happened so quick. I'm going to try to make this work. I'm not going to let anybody know I'm unhappy. I'm not going to let anybody know the troubles that we're having. I'm not going to let anybody know that I'm really unhappy because I got to make people think. And when I come out in public with this person, because we make such a cute couple and everybody just loves us as a couple, but I've got sucked into this vortex, and in the midst of this vortex, now I see the reality of what I didn't see when I was on the outside of this storm. Now I'm stuck in this situation, and I don't know how to get out of it because I have too much invested in it. Let's take a moment. What do we do now? What do we do now? First of all, you got to put your pride aside. You got to put your ego aside. You know what? It didn't work. You made a mistake. All of us have made mistakes. You made a mistake in judgment. They presented something that wasn't true. They presented this mirage in the desert, this illusion, this water mirage in the desert with these beautiful palm trees, water, a fan, a chair, and they sold you a lie, and you bought into the lie. You didn't know. And you're ashamed. You're embarrassed. Now you see why the old supply don't even chase you, or it has nothing to do with you. Some of you guys, this horrible old supply, but you haven't heard anything from the supply. You don't know anything about the supply besides what the narcissist tells you about the old supply. You don't know anything about them. Come to find out, you might even enjoy having a conversation with you. You may enjoy it. Some of you guys have told me that you got into conversation with the old supply. Come to find out that old supply was not tore up from the floor, meaning that they're a horrible person, but the stuff that this person has went through, which validates some of the things that you're going through now. Tigers don't change their stripes. Narcissists do not get into situationships and change who they are. They are who they are. They just have a different playing field. And so if they play soccer today, next week they're on a field, on a football field, but they're still playing soccer. A narcissist doesn't change. Their environment changes. Their source of supply may change. The source of supply may change. You may go from a poor to wealthy. You know, your environment changes, the land changes, but the game never changes. They are who they are. They are who they are. Maya Angelou said that when a person shows you who they are the first time, believe them. I paraphrase that. But, you know, when the person shows you who they are the first time, believe them. And a lot of you got the red flags, but you dismissed the red flags because you were in denial, because you really wanted to be loved. And you really thought that this person loved you. And they hoovered you, and you got sucked into this whirlwind. And now you're into this whirlwind, and you have, you know, your mind is foggy. You know, you can't even think straight. In a whirlwind, 1 minute they're saying this, the next minute they're saying this. Everything is real fast. It's like a car salesman. You know, everything is real fast. When you lay down at night, you really start thinking, I made a mistake, but you're afraid to say it. I made a mistake. I made an error in judgment. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed, but I can't let anybody know. So you live in shame. You live in embarrassment. Because I got sucked into this dangerous situation, and it's dangerous for your body, it's dangerous for your mind, dangerous for your children, but you're in denial. You are in denial because you like the status that they put you in. You like the materialistic things that they have presented to you, you know. And I've heard the story more than once. You know, I've heard the story more than once. And, you know, now what do? You got to put aside the pride. You know, you got to put aside the pride, and you have to think what is best. If you want to live your life like that because you sold out to material things, and you don't complain, don't say anything. You just make it work. You love them. You love her. You love them, and you going to stay. You know, and you going, what is that? I love them. Look at them. Look at them. I love them. And I'm going to stick by them. I need to go ahead and do a TikTok. I love them. I'm going to stick by them. What you going to do? You got to set aside that pride. We understand. That's why this tribe is here. That's why you have people like myself, Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, Telsha, with the T on MPD and relationship. You have people like us that are making videos because most of us have been in situations like that too. Most of us have been in situations like that too, you know, and it's the shame that, you know, and I think someone said, I don't understand, why should you be ashamed? Because it's the shame of the error in your thinking. And then to jump into something like that and to be embarrassed about the person that you're with. Everybody around you knows but you. You know, everybody knows this person's character. They know this person but you, because you're the closest person to them and you love them. And so you do whatever you can to defend them, but everybody around you knows the character of this individual. Known this person, some of them have known these people for years and years and years, and they already know. And they just don't say anything to you. You know, they don't say anything to you because they respect you in the relationship. They don't say anything. And you're embarrassed. And you know, you got to put aside the pride. You got to go talk to someone. Continue to watch these videos. Even if you watch these videos in secret, watch these videos. You know, build yourself up. You know, you can build yourself up. Build yourself up until you can break away. And just a disclaimer, those of you that have children, you can't just jump up and leave a narcissist like that, because narcissists are dirty. And what they'll do is say that you kidnapped their children. And then you find yourself in this battle because they done took your kids. So don't just listen to people when they say get out and go. If you are dating, or if you are married and you don't have anything to lose, you know, only thing you got to do is go to court and you know, separate your belongings or whatever you invested in. Yeah, get up and go. But if you have children, you know, if there's children involved, you can't just get up and go, because what they'll do is in court, they'll play that. They'll play that. And they'll say that you kidnapped my children. But you really need to connect with a good domestic violence advocate. Go, you know, contact the national hotline for domestic violence. They'll get you connected to domestic violence programs and agencies so they can document to help you get out of your situation. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. And the human will is very powerful, very powerful. You know, you have to make up your mind. Many people have not made up their mind. Many people come to counseling, seek coaching or mentorship, and it's not because they've made up their mind that they want to go. What they're trying to do is get the abuser to stop abusing, to get the narcissist to stop hurting them. But as long as you're seeking help to get the other person to change, what can I do to change the other person? What can I do to make this situation better? Nothing. There's nothing you can do to make the situation better. The way that you make the situation better is you get better. You find help. You find mentorship. And then don't be upset when people just are honest with you, are brutally honest with you. You have to accept the fact that you may be in denial. You have to accept the fact, the things that have happened when you start laying it out. And as that revelation or that epiphany or that aha hits you, you progress. Stay with them until you are strong enough to say enough is enough. You have to make up my mind. You have to make up your mind. What is it that you want to do? A made up mind. Once you make up your mind and you lock into that, can nobody stop you? And you know what? You just start from ground zero. It doesn't matter. Tina Turner had enough. She got enough of being abused. She got enough of getting beaten. In the midst of a concert, she left with nothing but 35 cents in her pocket. She left. She had her name, her stage name. She was gifted. She was talented. And she knew that she can start. You can have the house. You can have what I don't want nothing that you got. I can do this all over. And she started from ground zero. She probably didn't live the lifestyle that she lived when she was with him, but she started from ground zero. And she built herself back up. Now, true enough, many of us are not superstars. We're not actors or singers or whatever, but there's a gift inside of you. You got gifts and talents. Gifts and talents are what created this economy, created this world. People building, people are talented, and they know architecture. They're passionate. They know about cars, the agriculture, agriculture. Produce. Farmers. People. Influencers, speakers, we know how to create. We have gifts and we create from those gifts. You got to tap into the gift that's inside of you. There's a gift in everybody. There's a gift in everybody. There's something in you that's going to help you make some money and sustain yourself. And then you have a passion to do it on top of that. So tap into yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much. I was taking my me time in the car. You see, I'm sitting in the car, a little car junkie. I'm sitting in the car. I'm sitting out here getting ready to go into work. See? Sitting out here in the parking lot. Hold on, let me see if the store's open. Let me see if you guys can see it. I don't think you guys can see it. There's a shopping. Only you guys can see it. Can you see Nordstrom over there? No, I don't think you can. So I'm just sitting in the car. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. I wanted to start you guys off this weekend. I'll be back on Sunday. Tomorrow I have a speaking event. Make sure you guys go check my community tab, Facebook, Instagram. And there's a flyer there. I will be speaking. Those of you that are on the East Coast, I'll be on 9 o'clock. Between 8:30 and 9 o'clock East Coast time. So that's like 5:30, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then Central Time, that's 7:30, 8 o'clock Central Time. So you guys go check out the flyer. They said that it is full, but you can email them if you are interested in being there. It's a support group, a nonprofit organization for women. It is a Christian-based organization, so I will be speaking and ministering at the same time. So you guys make sure you go check out that flyer. If you guys want to attend, make sure you send an email. You guys come out there and support me. When I say support me, sometimes when I see familiar faces or familiar names, it takes away from that nervous edge, before, because then I'm accustomed to the normal people, the tribe that I talk to in the first place. So you guys kind of calm me down when I'm nervous. So you guys come on out there. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You can find me LinkedIn. People are going over to LinkedIn at Dr. Carmen Bryant. Dr. Carmen Bryant, I think it's Dr. Carmen Bryant. That you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, on Twitter at Dr. Carmen Bryant 1. And then I broadcast on Sunday, so you guys go check me out. Make sure you go check out my mother's YouTube channel as well as Helen Sadler, Your Destiny Helper. Make sure you go check out Telsha with the T on NPD and relationships. Hang in there with us. Hang in there with us. It's going to be okay. Some of you, I don't see how it's going to be, but all of us have been through it too. So, and we all right. We good. Happy, tired, but happy. You're going to get there. It takes time. Don't rush the process. We didn't rush the process. 6, 7, 8 years of a process of healing. Come on. So you can't rush it. And the longer the relationship, the more damage that situationship has done. So don't rush it. Enjoy your life. Thank you guys so much. And also, if you guys are looking for coaching, I do provide coaching services, especially for those that are outside the state of Washington. You can email me at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. And if you are in Washington State, not outside Washington State, in Washington State, and you want counseling, email me at drcarmenbryant@outlook.com so I can see what insurance you have. Some of you guys try to call my office number or call my number. I have too many calls, so a lot of times I can't pick up the phone anyway. But if you email me, you'll get a response quicker than if you try to call me, because I usually can't pick up the telephone. There's too many calls. The phone ring. I'm on camera in middle of session. The phone's just ringing. So if you want services at Dr. Carmen Bryant at outlook.com. Also, for those of you that are looking for therapy, those of you that are looking for therapy or therapists that are licensed within your state, you can go to betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. They will give you a discounted rate, a 10% discount, because you clicked on that link. Ask them, do you understand PTSD? Do you understand long-term trauma effects? Do you understand trauma bonding? Do you understand grief and loss? Ask them questions like that. Don't get on there. Do you know what narcissist abuse is? And if you don't, you need to go to school. Don't do that, because a lot of us didn't understand the exact concept of narcissist abuse, but we understood abuse. We understood those terminology. Oh, yeah, I understand that. And a lot of times I was talking about it, didn't even realize I was talking about narcissist abuse until I took the popular psychology terminology and put it together and figured out, oh, this is what it is. So, betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen, you get a 10% discount. You can get a licensed therapist in your area in Canada, and you just ask them, do you understand this? And you work with them. Some of you guys go look up EMDR. For those of you that, EMDR is good for those that are dealing with the anxiety, the hypervigilance, the anxiety that along with the PTSD, and it helps to calm you down. It's not a whole bunch of talking, but, it helps to regulate those emotions, that anxiety, that fear. And I appreciate you guys. I really do. I really appreciate you guys. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of new faces in Atlanta next year, and some of the faces that I saw this year in Dallas. So I'm looking forward to meeting new tribe members and even some of the older ones that came out. I'm looking forward to, you guys know that Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, will be out there with me. She says she's coming out there with me. Miss Bridget Griffin says she's coming. Mr. Marcus Monroe and his wife said that they were coming. So I'm really looking forward. I'm trying to get a few other people to come out. Telsha said that she's going to be there. So T with the MPD, and we're going to try to do a round table talk, not a red table talk. We're going to do the round table talk, the girl talk, and we gonna have some conversation. At least all these people that are there, we get to have a conversation. I think it's going to be a good conversation. I think it's really going to be great to have this type of talk, question and answer time, where you can ask your favorite influencers questions. And we're there to even to get up and hug you, to comfort you in the pain that you're going through. So I am excited about next year. You guys, if you are in the Atlanta area, email me, because I want to know about some venues that are out there. I have one in mind, but those of you that live in the Atlanta area, you guys have more information than I do, and I want you to email me and let me know about some venues that are out there, because I don't want to break anybody's pocket, especially when it comes to like hotel stays and the venue itself, because that costs y'all. That's why the cost of the conference is what it is, because of what I want to provide for you guys. The limo rides, taking you out to the nice restaurants where you can be around those people that you've enjoyed listening to, the place, make sure that you're eating and everything. So you guys remember, that's costly, so, and it's not coming out of my pocket, so I got to make the money to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So I need your help. I need your help so you guys can help me make this happen. And it was beautiful this year on a smaller venue. It's going to be great next year too. And it's going to grow as we go so that we can circulate back around to some of these major cities. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Remember, if you're in the Atlanta area, make sure you email me, drcarmenbryant@outlook.com, and give me some ideas of what the venues are out there. And so I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and you guys go and be great.